If you're trying to learn how to trade, make money, look at the charts, journal, backtest, work a job, start a business, and have a life, and you're constantly feeling behind or overwhelmed, then this video is for you. My name is Naomi. I'm a cognitive behavioural therapist by background and I trade. And I want to help you to make sure that you can trade and live the life that you want long term. When we're learning how to trade, it can feel very consuming. Like once you see what trading can do for you and how much money you can make in a short period of time, you just want to master this. You want to know how you can do this and make this work for you long term. And you can find that maybe the journey of pursuing how to trade and learning how to trade takes over other things that may be important to you. Maybe other areas of your life may get neglected, or you might start to notice that you're feeling anxiety if you're not trading, or feeling guilty for not trading. So it can be very challenging managing other commitments whilst trying to learn how to trade and have trading as another source of income. Now, because we've seen the potential of trading, we can't unsee it. And sometimes there's this sense of urgency to try to make trading work for you as quickly as possible. And then what can happen is that you spend a lot of your time on maybe trading and trying to figure out how to do this so that you can be profitable as quickly as possible. And actually not allocate your time based on what is truly important to you. And I'm going to talk more about this. And when I say in terms of what is truly important to you, I'm talking about the things that deep down you care about, so your values. And it's really important to allocate your time based on what you care about. And now, what you care about and the degree to which you care about it will be different to other people. So everyone's values are different. And also, at different times in your own life, your values will change. And what can happen as a trader is that we allocate our time based on a sense of maybe urgency or fear or expectations. So, in terms of maybe what other people are telling us that we should do, or what we've learned that we should do, or maybe what social media is telling us to do. And in those cases, everything seems to be equally important. But actually, you want to ask yourself, what is important to me right now? And as I said, it will be different to other people, and it will also be different at different times in your own life. And the best way to prevent burnout is to really look into what is important to you right now and allocate your time based on that. And in that sense, what you're doing is you now have a direction. You know where you are going, and you know what you're working towards based on what's important to you. So there are different values, and it's important to pay attention to the ones that are important to you so that you don't feel stressed, you don't feel guilty, you don't feel like you've neglected particular areas of your life. So some values, some common values that people have might be around maybe family, relationships, marriage, parenting, health, financial independence, career, personal development, hobbies, recreational activities, spirituality, and the list can go on. And if you're watching this video, I'm sure that one of your values is maybe learning how to trade, so that might come under self-development, personal development, financial independence. So you really want to think to yourself, what is important to me at this time in my life? And if I was to look at my calendar, does my calendar reflect my values? Am I allocating time proportionately in line with what I care about? If somebody else was to look at my calendar or to be a fly on the wall for about a week, would it reflect where I want to go? Would they be able to tell me exactly what I'm working towards? Now, if there's any discrepancy between what you care about and what is important to you and what you're actually doing day to day, that's where you want to make some tweaks, okay? So as a trader as well, you might fall into the trap of potentially looking at the charts all day, every day, just because you need to find the answer to it. And I have been there myself. And I'm not saying that that is necessarily good or bad, but you do need to ask yourself, am I also paying attention to health and rest if those are things that are important to me? And if actually learning how to trade is important to me, I need to not burn out, because if I burn out, I'm not going to be able to trade at all. So it defeats the purpose. So perhaps you do actually need to schedule time to actually look after yourself, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe you need to actually schedule rest and breaks so that when you are trading, you are focused and you're actually present. And what you can also do is schedule time for the things that are important to you. And that way, when you are trading, you can trade without guilt because you know that you've also scheduled in times for the other things that are important to you. You haven't neglected any other area of your life. Now, on the flip side, sometimes we can say to ourselves, you know what, I really want to be a trader. I want to master this thing. And then we might also find ourselves pursuing other projects, other business ideas at the same time. And now that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you just want to just check in with yourself and ask yourself, is this okay? Am I happy to divide my time and energy across these different endeavors and projects? Or would I prefer to have it more heavily weighted towards trading? Still have these other things and these maybe multiple sources of income, but maybe I want to put more weight and emphasis on trading. Or maybe actually you want to put more weight and emphasis on other projects that you have. So it's really about understanding yourself, what is really important to you, not what anyone else is saying, not maybe what you've been conditioned to believe, not what other people are doing, but really tuning into yourself, your life, and your future, and asking yourself, how do I want it to look? Where do I want to go? What direction am I heading in? And making sure your time is allocated accordingly. When you start to think in this way, in the sense where you are focusing on what is important to you and you are allocating your time accordingly, this can prevent feelings of guilt and stress and anxiety because you know that you are paying attention to what is important and that you have scheduled time for each of those areas of your life. And that allows you to be present when you are engaging in each of those areas, because you can say to yourself, you know what, in this moment, I'm trading. I've allocated this amount of time to trade, and I'm going to be present here. I'm going to focus on the task because I know that I have also scheduled time for other things, whether it's health, family, relationships, spirituality, whatever it is for you, recreation. You know, you've allocated that time. You are not neglecting anything that's important. So that can also help you with your trading performance as well. You're not burnt out, you're present. So the first step to managing overwhelm and burnout as a trader, just to ensure that you can stay in this game long term and actually achieve the life that you want, the first step is to do an audit of your time. Just ask yourself, where is my time going each day? What do I spend most of my time on? And you want to identify that activity, and you'll be able to get a sense of how much time is going to each of these activities. And also ask yourself, how do these activities make me feel? Are there any activities here that actually drain me? Are there any activities that actually nourishes me? What here do I enjoy? And you're not going to enjoy everything that you do. There are things in life that are actually necessary and that you have to do. So they may give you maybe less of a sense of enjoyment, but actually they give you more of a sense of achievement because you know you've got those done. So those could be day-to-day things. That could be work, for example. It could be home management, anything that you have to do, life admin, that sort of stuff. But you really want to do an audit. How much time am I spending on different things? Where is my time going? And is it in alignment with who I am and what I care about? And you may want to consider potentially removing certain activities if you realize, actually, I don't even know why I do this thing. It actually does not serve me in any way. It's not doing anything for me. After reviewing your time allocation, you may remove certain activities if you can, or you may just reduce the amount of time spent on it. You may then find out that actually, you know what? I actually care about a particular thing. For example, I do care about my health, but actually I'm not moving my body, I'm not exercising, I'm not doing anything. So you might then actually add that to your diary. Again, you may find that you might want to spend more time, more energy on your trading journey if that feels right. Maybe you might need to reduce some time. So again, it's just you doing a review of how your time is spent based on what you care about at this time in your life. And as I say, your values will change. So what you might do now, it might not stay like that forever. One thing that is guaranteed in life is change, but it's just making sure that you're doing what's right for you now so that you can get to where you want to. If you are like me, where you have experienced times where you just get lost in trading, so for example, you're just there watching the charts, you're back testing, and you could literally go on forever. You don't even want to get up to do whatever you have to do, to take a comfort break. You're just there, you can spend hours on it. And if this is actually coming at the cost of other things, then what I have found helpful is to actually schedule an amount of time that I will spend on backtesting, for example. So instead of saying to myself, oh, I'm going to backtest, I've actually scheduled time weekly that I will allocate to backtesting. So for example, it could be 2 hours every week for backtesting. Now, what's good about that is that you're paying attention to backtesting. You know that you are going to backtest every week, and you set a time limit on it, a time limit that is manageable for you around your life and any other commitments you might have. So for example, I'm going to backtest for 2 hours every week on a weekend. So you are making it so that it's easy for you to do, that it's going to be likely that you will do it. So setting a day, or a day when you will do that, for example the weekend, if that's easier for you. Maybe you have a job, maybe you have family, okay? And in that sense, you view it almost like an appointment, like if you have a doctor's appointment or something like that, hairdresser's appointment, you've got to get your nails done, you've got to get your hair cut. You make sure that you go, and it's this sort of running item that's there each week. And that helps to manage your time a lot better. You're saying to yourself, I've got 2 hours now of backtesting. Especially if you love trading, you could literally go on forever and continue to backtest for hours, but then you're now neglecting other things, okay? So that is something I have found helpful. Trading is important to me. I want to make sure that I'm constantly practicing, I'm constantly refining my skills. I don't just want to trade live, I also want to practice beforehand. So that could be something you find helpful. So scheduling activities. You may also, if for example, family is important to you or relationships are important to you, you will schedule time for that as well. And when you're scheduling these tasks, it makes it more likely to happen because you're not relying on how you're going to feel in that moment. Because a lot of the time you may find an excuse not to do something or to do something. So when you actually schedule the time, you see it there, it's planned ahead of time. You might use the weekend beforehand to schedule your week and how you're going to allocate your time in line with your values, okay? You're doing what's important to you, not what's important to anybody else, but what's important to you, paying attention to all areas of your life, paying attention to everything that you value. It's now more likely to happen. You don't have to think about it on the day or in that moment. You've already got a plan ahead of time. And as I say, you can now do each activity guilt-free. You can spend time charting, knowing that you are going to pay attention to the other things that you care about, whether that's family, your health, spirituality, your job, your career, other businesses, the community. Now, really being structured with your time in this way, in a way that is values led, really indirectly helps your trading performance because you now feel far more in control of your life. You now have a sense of discipline in your personal life, which then translates over to trading. You're not going to be over trading because you're acting out of impulse all of the time. There's structure, there's rhyme and rhythm to everything that you're doing. You're not over trading, you're not revenge trading. You're more focused, you're calm, you're not stressed, you're present, you're far more relaxed, and that will directly influence your trading performance and your trading results. Now, as you think about this, you might be having some niggling thoughts such as, well, you've got to grind, you've got to work hard. If I don't work hard, I'm going to fall behind. I need to put in the hours. Now, these are all thoughts that might just be popping into your mind. But, and another thing is some people say there's no such thing as balance. Now, this isn't necessarily saying you need balance and you need to be doing everything. It's about saying what is important to you at this time in your life. What is important? What do you care about? And allocating your time proportionately in a way where you can sustain what you're doing, in a way that you can continue to work towards what is important to you. So that might also incorporate looking after your health and rest at the same time. Okay, if you are watching this video, I'm sure that you care about your health as well, because wealth without health is pretty pointless. So it's about always checking back in with yourself, with you, and thinking, what is important to you? So it's really important to do something differently if you want things to be different, okay? If you're feeling overwhelmed, like there's so much to do and there's not enough time to do it, we need to take some action. We need to do something differently, not necessarily do more, but do something differently. So I would like you to come away from this video and identify what are your 3 to 5 core values. What are 3 to 5 things that you truly deep down care about? And as I said, there are many different ones, and your values may be different to other people and they can change over time. But themes might be around financial independence, health, self-development, career, family, relationships, recreation, fun, hobbies, spirituality. Identify 3 to 5 of those that are important to you right now. Then I want you to allocate your time so that it reflects these values. I want you to also remove or reduce anything that you're doing that you don't actually care about that much. And then I want you to also now trade in a way where there is structure around your time. Trades where it's more contained as opposed to constantly. Now, if you found this video helpful and you want more structured support, I do have a trading psychology course linked below, which is self-paced and has evidence-based tools which helps you to improve your trading performance. I also do offer one-on-one trading performance coaching. The details of those will be below as well.